That's right, fucking stay down. Oh, g'day. Morning YouTube and the internets. How you going today? That was just me dealing with life. Kind of had me in a bit of a chokehold for the last 6 weeks, but I finally got on top of it and made him my bitch. Next video, I promise, will be on cars, and we'll be out in the next couple of days. Falcon's here, power steering is out of it, the pump's in the laundry, so's the reservoir. It's effectively 2 videos that are coming out because I figured I could make 2 videos out of it because it was too long to be one. So some of the footage is common across both jobs, so you'll get both of them in the one. You'll get the same footage in 2 videos, but where the jobs differ, the videos will be unique. I've literally just got to reinstall the pump, the reservoir, the line and the pressure sensor now, and I took them out and got to this point 6 weeks ago. Since then, it was like an emergency work thing. I had to go over to the west coast of Australia. Went over there, supposed to be there for 2 weeks in Perth. Next thing you know, I need you in friggin' on site. 5 hours north of Perth in the desert. So, I went, well, maybe, because I was waiting on a contract for another job somewhere else that was supposed to start immediately. So, I spoke to them. I ended up telling both of them what the situation was, both employers, and basically nutted out that I could spend another week there and they would wait for me at the new job. It's a much better job, way better position, pay, everything's better, and much cooler project. So I go to site and it was awful. The project was a disaster, and I was like, well, I'm going. I told you I'm going, so I'm going to do everything I can here, and I did my best. But I walked out of there happy and knowing that that project would have failed. In fact, one of the guys who was on that job rang me the other day. I should have asked him how it went in the end, but I'm pretty sure it would have been late. It would have been functional, but it would have been late. Every one of my tasks were completed on time. So everything I was tasked with doing and achieving on that project in the whole 3-week period happened on time or ahead of time. So I was happy when I walked out, because all you can control is what you can do. So, the day before I fly back to Brisbane, my dad has a heart attack. Well, has another one, apparently. Goes to hospital, is diagnosed, he's had heart attacks over the course of like a week, and has probably had more in the past, because there's damage to the heart. So I fly back, that was the Tuesday. I was 15 hours travel, so 5-hour drive from where I was to Perth, and then 5-hour, and then wait a few hours in Perth, 5-hour flight back to Brisbane, get back home, 15 hours from leaving to get out of the airport in Brisbane. The next day my grandfather passed away. So I'm not particularly close with my grandfather, but my mother is. So, and 6 months ago, my grandmother had passed away, my grandfather's wife, so both on my mother's side. And that had happened during COVID, when we couldn't get across the border to go to the funeral, and that affected my mum pretty badly. She's also not well. Dad's now in hospital, having bloody stents put in. She's freaking out. I'm like, well shit, what do I do? And I've just started a new job. Started a new contract, and I'm supposed to be going to South Australia on a day's notice, at the drop of a hat. So it was all happening. In the end, they weren't ready for me to go to South Australia, which worked out really well. Dad was okay, he had the stents put in, he got out of hospital at 10 o'clock in the morning. I went and had my doctor's appointment for an unrelated thing that had been booked for months in advance. I then drove from Brisbane to Warwick, and Then from there, Mum drove from Brisbane to Warwick with Dad. And then I drove from Warwick to Yarralla in New South Wales, rural New South Wales, about 4 hours, where the funeral was going to be on the Thursday, so a week after he passed away. But like all the time was dependent on Dad getting out of hospital and things like that. It was all right on the line of making it or not making it. So anyway, we went and things went as they do at these things. Pretty well, all things considered. It was good that Mum actually got to go to the funeral this time, and the extended family as well. And then I went out to a mate's on the day before we came back, and he was way further away than I thought he was. I thought he was like 90 k's and it was like 180 k's. But yeah, went and caught up, had a couple of beers and a bit of a chit chat, and he had to work the next morning and I had to get up at like 5 and I slept in. Rushed back to pick up Mum and Dad to bring them back to Brisbane. So on that last day I drove from, let's say, 200 k's to get to Yarralla by 8, so I left at 6 instead of 5:30 I was supposed to. 200 k's to get to there, then packed the car with all their stuff. I already packed my stuff. I was staying at the caravan park in a cabin. Then the 4-hour drive to Warwick, unpacked the cars. Dad can't lift anything because he's just had a heart attack. So like I had to pack the car when we left, do all that stuff. And then I drove home here. And then I was supposed to last week go to South Australia for work. And then the borders got closed because of that COVID cluster here. But blessing in disguise, it means that I got to have Easter off, which it is right now. So I was able to get the yard back under control, having been away for 3 weeks and then all this other stuff happening, and it basically being the wettest February, March ever. The grass was like shoulder high, so I've had to mow it like 4 times to get it under control without killing it, and now it's at a reasonable level. I've cleaned the house, I've caught up with all my washing, and now I'm onto the car. So yeah, so I thought before I would start the car, I thought, hey, I'll chuck up a video because Neil Kell did like a raid thing the other day, and it had been a month since I'd uploaded it, so I'll slam this up now, and then it should be followed quickly by power steering pump removal. I only removed it to inspect it in the reservoir. Power steering high pressure line replacement. It was leaking, and I bought the line, I'll just buy the line, but you'll see in that video what the actual leak is. And following that, which I haven't started yet, but I'll do before this thing moves, will be the front bump stops, and then it'll be ready to be re-registered. Just take the plates off, take them in, get a roadie, because it failed on roadie on those things. Power steering leak and bump stops, and a couple of other things which don't really matter and probably don't warrant a video for the repair. So yeah, shit's been going down. I've been busy. I think I've got like 3 minutes today. Well, actually I've got all day today and tomorrow to get this stuff done. So I'm planning on working on the Falcon today, and then working on the R32, just maintenance, cleaning it up, clean the shed, do all that stuff tomorrow. So it's ready to go, because I've entered the Gold Rush Hill Climb in July, which is the best piece of road I've ever seen in my life. So, and it's like 3 kilometres. I think it's been extended this year. It's got like a big long straight at the start. It's going to be an amazing event, and I can't wait to get there. I've also had an unseller, I think, not necessarily a manufacturer. I've had a company. There we go. I've had a company approach me about doing a promo for some of their stuff. Not high value or anything like that, but I've got to think about what I'm going to do with that limited budget to do the best video I can and also, you know, display their products in the best light that I can. So I want, they're just like, oh, just do a thing. And I'm like, no, I want to do it right. So if in the future another company sees me, they see that I will put a bit of thought and effort into it, and not just go, hey, here's some free stuff I got, go buy their stuff. So yeah, but with work, it's going to be a 3-on 1-off roster. I'll be away for 3 weeks at a time. So the videos will be probably sporadic over the next couple of months because of that. I'll only be home for 1 week in 4 at best. That, as the project continues and gets closer to the deadline at the end, may extend into 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks straight. But you're used to me going away for months at a time. So yeah, that's what's been going on. I've got life back under control, and I will move forward and get the videos to you when I can, but hopefully before I go to South Australia, have at least 2, maybe 3 more videos up. So that's by Thursday next week. I think I'm flying out. So if it hasn't gone up by Thursday next week, it's not coming until at least 2 weeks later. I'm not sure if this first swing is going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's chaos. Work has been chaos. But yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you next time, and hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours, you'll see another video after this, which will be one of those power steering components. A couple of days later, next one. Because I find putting them all out on the same day, I've done it before where I've put more than one video out within 24 hours, and it seems to rob the views off the first one and promote the second one. So I'll give it at least 2 days between uploads. But both jobs should be done, filming should be done today, and editing by this evening. So yeah, I'll catch you in a couple of days. I hope. Last time I said that last time too, but hey, who knew what was about to go down? I didn't.